Okay, 6.2 is looking at graphs and just taking information already given to you and answering different types of questions on it. So the first part is called interpolation or interpolate, where you have to find a known value between two other known values. So what this means is you're giving a line graph and you'd be looking for a new point on that line to answer a question either based on the y-axis or the x-axis. Just one note, you should only do this when it makes sense, such as you can do half a kilometer, but you cannot estimate half a dog or half a cat. Make sure it makes sense. Okay, so in the first example, you'll be looking at a weather balloon recorded at different heights or altitudes, and then what the temperature is at each altitude. So typically you'll be given a graph based on this information. Occasionally you'll have to draw it yourself, and I will provide graph paper for you. If you're reading this at home, the graph paper is on the website. So ignoring the green and the red numbers there for the moment, for part A, you have to find the air temperature when the balloon is at 600 meters. So what you do is you start at 600 meters, which is right here, and you draw a line straight up, all the way up to your line graph. So you draw the line to this point right here, and then you work backwards towards the temperature and draw another line towards the y-axis, and then you're going to estimate this is not going to be perfect, and whatever temperature you end up at, that'll be what the temperature is at 600 meters. So in this case, it's about 7.5 degrees Celsius. You could say 7.4, you could say 8, 7.7. As long as it's close, it's not a big deal. It's only an estimate. Now part B asks what the altitude of the balloon is at an air temperature of negative 7.5 degrees. So here, you're going to work the other way. So you'll start at the y-axis with a temperature of negative 7.5 degrees. And now you'll draw a straight line to the right to meet up with that line graph, so that now you can determine what the altitude is. So draw that line all the way across to the line to right there, and then draw another straight line up, this time to the x-axis to where you think it meets, and best estimate is 1,640. Again, you could be a little more, a little less. Just make sure it's close to that as you're working through the assignment and the homework. So just the last part, you have to do an estimate for all these. You cannot find a precise value. So if the question asked, find the air temperature with a specific altitude of 1,050.92 meters, you can't find it. You can only estimate. You could do 10,050 meters, but you won't be able to do something that specific. That's not the point of this. It's just to get a general overview about what the value is. So in your textbook, work through number 4 to 7 on page 226. Okay, last example of this is extrapolation, or to extrapolate, where now you're still given a line graph, but you're finding a new value that's not on the line. So you're going to have to either extend the line, increase it, or decrease it to find your values. Again, you'll be given a table of values, and typically you'll be given a graph as well. If you have to draw the graph, again, just use graph paper and sketch it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So here you're looking at time in years from 0 to 3, and an increase in the price. So you're given a graph, which is this blue line, and the question asks you to extrapolate the approximate value for the price in 4.5 years. So 4.5 years is here, and the original graph ends right here after 4 years. So you need to extrapolate it or extend the line out to find the value of 4.5 years. So this blue dotted line is the new line. Just get rid of that. So this dotted line, make sure it's straight, extends that line graph up to 4.5 years, and you follow the same steps you followed before, where go up from 4.5 years to the line, and then work back towards the y-axis to find the value. So at 4.5 years, the price is about $75. So again, this is just an estimate. You can't be precise, just like you couldn't in the first part of this. So there's the rest of your homework. There is an assignment associated with this as well that you'll get next week. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you're asking me, and just take your time.